growing up, especially during high school. Don't want to get into too much detail about that, but yeah, it just speaks a lot. Yeah, I know. It speaks. And plus, yep. Seriously,
the ground here is hollowed out for miles. Who knows what's happening under your feet?
Yeah. Dust is actually a really fun Metroidvania style game. If you also watch Maverick Hunter Zero on YouTube, he's doing a playthrough as well. I didn't actually realize this until I found his videos.
Up ahead,
huh?
Guardian down.
2 people are watching this. I think one of them might be you. Yeah. Also, hello to any watchers who are currently watching this. Also, take note of this Guardian. You'll find out later during the Taken King.
There's nothing left.
Not even the light. Where's his ghost?
Definitely. You will sit through these cutscenes and
want to move back.
Sorry. Yeah.
We've woken the hive.
Yeah.
I'm picking up the dying light of a ghost. Inside.
And we find out its head. That would be kind of cool, though, just to see, like, the dead orbit fleet and whatever ships the Guardians have against, like, the Cabal fleet. I know you want to see that.
The ghost is dead, but I can still read some of its memories. The Hive are raising an army here, preparing to invade Earth. We need to stop them.
Seriously. Seriously, they proved they can do it. Yeah, but Bungie, I think, mostly wants to focus on, well, Halo mostly, but the guys over at Destiny, I can honestly understand what... Oh, yeah. Yeah, 343 is gonna basically basically milk the dead cow that is Halo, while Bungie can work us on Destiny. Huh? Please do not rage at us in the comments. Or threaten to kill us. We can get the Handsome Jack collection. And that would be nice. Post it up on my YouTube as Borderlands. Okay, I should probably just let you guys know right now. I tend to have pretty bad connections whenever I'm in the tower for some reason. So bear with me if you suddenly just see if the stream suddenly just puts up an error thing saying I don't have a stable connection. I have satellite up here, but it's kind of dependent on if the satellite connection is not interrupted. Like if there's a storm, it will be choppy as hell. If it's not, it's like a clear day right now. I think I should be good. Plus, my internet has been kind of a bit wonky lately. Like, we were playing Bloodborne the other day, and we got to the Bloodstarved Beast, and I kept getting disconnected. Okay. Yeah. So we just go in, talk to Rahul, get the speaker, and get out of there.
Let's get started. That looks very solid. Give my regards.
Walior Type 1. Yeah, the new outlook. A few emblems for the... Yeah.
Good. Yes, God. What do you need? Yes. Very good. Your actions give me hope.
It's more of a...
I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it
Guardian.
I was gonna mention, like, about the real world money thing. The microtransactions, it's mostly for cosmetic purposes. Like, if you want to go ahead and have, like, a certain emote that you don't... If you want to, like, buy some of the emotes, you can, but they did say that when you are done with it, you can... Okay. They say that when you can easily go ahead and get the you can buy the silver using using real world money, but it's mostly for just cosmetic, like sparrow skins, emotes and stuff. And all the proceeds will go to Bungie, so that way they can get out free missions, free campaign missions. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't really mind it. I mean, free missions to help flesh out the story a bit more, that would be interesting. Now, back to the moon. They were...
There's got to be a way to find out what the Hive are planning.
Yeah.
That ghost we recovered
But
found
given
a library
the,
in a fortress called the World's Grave. It's said to hold everything they know of Earth. If you can get us down there, I'll steal all I can. The World's Grave is deep in their fortress.
But as it turns out, they were actually getting it
there's
ready
an ancient
for...
knight who protects it. I can lead us to him, but you'll
They
have to
actually
face him to
were
find the grave.
getting rid of it so that way you can get it when it for year 2. Like they're gonna add year 2 stuff, like what they did with Iron Banner. If only there was a... I can understand that. I wouldn't mind actually, getting maybe the helmet, the raw kind of helmet for the hunter. I mean, I already got the wolf cloak for the hunter from Iron Banner, but that was for a drop. Yeah, it is. Oh wait, yeah, I thought we were going for the sword or Crota. My that. Now, yeah, that's for the Eris's mission. Plus, we have no idea how to do. We're not video editors. I mean, we're just small-time you. Yeah, I gotta upload this too. This is just funny. Yep. We don't do this for the money, although the money does sound nice. I know, it's just, I just do this because it's fun. Like, I'm currently, like, writing a bit of a novel, and I hope to get it published one day, and I just want to write it because I want to write it. I want to tell a story. I don't really care for the money that if it does well. I mean, given my financial situation, it sounds almost okay, but at the same time, I'm like, I just want to write this because I want to write this story. But my bad. I don't think we're fighting an Ultra, are we? This is the world's grave, isn't it? Yeah, it's the world's grave. The Eye of Oryx is for the shrine. Turns out these guys are actually... Turns out the thralls are actually a form of microbacteria of the moon. Ugh. That's a cherry thought. Yes, it is. Death by Snoo Snoo. Yeah. I mean, that would probably be like a bad way to go. Although I don't know whether to be excited or just terrified beyond belief. Oh boy.
The night is near, and it's powerful. But this knight holds the key to finding the grave. We'll have to kill him.
Stop kicking people to the pit of death. Anyone who gets that reference gets a cookie. Meet the Spartans. Wow. White and green engrams. Kranox the Graven. I was playing a bit of Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows a bit ago. Yeah, I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be blunt. I died so many times this Plague Knight. Key to the world's grave. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
This should lead us right to the grave. The world's grave, not ours.
Yeah, did you hear about the Twilight Princess HD? Oh crap! I heard it's supposed to hold us over for Zelda Wii U because the main story is, even though the game's like open world, according to what HMK said, it's like a bit lackluster when it comes to the story, because you can go to any of the dungeons, but like there's no real like story about them like or anything, and they actually postponed it until next year so that way we can go ahead and get it when they fix that problem, because the beta testers were actually not impressed with it. But
that's it.
Thing is like, yeah. Yeah. I have Or, you know, Bayonetta 2. You get a... I'm gonna be blunt, it includes the original Bayonetta with it. It's actually... When I played the first Bayonetta, I'm like, oh my god. It's supposedly... from what I remember, if you buy it like new or something, you can easily get like a free copy of Bayonetta 1. They included it with the retail copies. I kind of bought it retail because when I saw what it was available to buy on download,
make sure you're ready.
I was like, okay, I'm not spending that much cash to get it because like it would take up most of my hard drive. But I have to admit, Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U, I have to admit, I felt like it was a smart move because the Wii U needed sales, and besides Smash, Bayonetta 2 is like one of the few games I've played, other than Shovel Knight. But it's been like a while since I played. See?
There is so much. They've broken the Bekenstein limit.
I used to play Roy a lot when I played Smash Bros. Melee, but when they added him back in, I was like, I wish I had the money to buy Roy. I want him so bad. He was my ace. But speaking of Roy, the Fire Emblem game that he comes in, the Sword of Seals, I really hope that they decide to, I don't know, do like an enhanced version of it for like the Wii U or something, or 3DS, because personally that was the game that got Roy interested, because when Roy got into Smash, I had no idea what Fire Emblem was, but when I looked it up and saw this, I'm like, oh my god, why has there not been an English version?
There's unbelievable stuff in here. The Hive have seen thousands of worlds taken by the darkness, and they've been seeding Earth for centuries, waiting for their gods to return.
Dance off.
I'll warn the city. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, pew 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 pew. But I will agree. Fire Emblem Sword of Seals. I know that Fire Emblem Fates is coming out, and it involves like two different stories. One is like the traditional one, but the other is like you're on the enemy team and you're trying to fix a kingdom from the inside while also having to deal with the other kingdom. And I will admit this right now, that is interesting. But I wouldn't mind if they did a sequel to Sword of Seals that takes place like, I don't know, I guess with Roy's descendants, but it includes certain characters that came back. Like, I don't know, as spirits, or like, depending on like... You never played Awakening? Yep. I never... The only... How do you think I felt? The only thing I saw of Gundam I mean, they show Gundam Seed and stuff due to Toonami, but I never saw any of that. The only show I saw Gundam related was SD Gundam Force. I don't know, but growing up, I actually liked it. I actually managed to finally...
Let's see what we have. Wield it wisely. Come back soon. We need the challenge.
Spread their ashes. You've seen the sights, then?
Hey, listen to... Sorry.
Good luck. We failed to stop Hotel once. You cannot.
I will admit, I loved Transformers a lot as a kid. The Armada saga was one of my favorites, but Energon was also my third.
We are humble.
You've done well, Guardian.
Listen to this. Listen to what the speaker says. Yes, yes, I feel it now. Everything is connected within the light. I sense a shard of the Traveler bathed in darkness. Guardian, if they succeed in their task, if they complete their ritual, the Traveler will fall, and our tale will end. Stop them no matter the cost.
Yes, very good.
I also got the mission for the Sword of Crota. Yeah, Eris. Ready, David? I mean, Demon? My bad. Alright, I keep forgetting, like, no one else knows your real name except for me, and I just casually drop it. But, yeah. Yeah. Right now, I'm thinking about Psychonauts and the character Dr. Lobato. He's the insane dentist, and he usually wears a straitjacket. I keep thinking of him right now when I thought about that, and it's kind of ironic because I actually bought and have Psychonauts on my PS3. I have not played it ever since I got the PS4 when Taken King came out. I've just been like playing the PS4, and this is actually something I've been wanting to think about, but I know they remastered Grim Fandango and it's available on PS4, Steam and stuff. I'm just like, I know Tim Schafer has like a lot to go on with all those classics of his. I'm like, would it really kill him to, make make a Psychonauts on the PS4. Not gonna lie, I mean that would be kind of awesome. Like current. I know Tim Schafer was the guy who helped produce it. I think so. I think Tim Schafer has like the task of if he ever decides to remaster them, he can. I mean, I have Grim Fandango remastered on Steam. I got it on sale, and I'm like, bird. Lord Saladin of the Iron Banner. If I could have gotten this guy fully, yeah. I mean, I really want to get the Titan mark and stuff and the Warlock bond for it, so that way I can yeah. Where? Oh, that bird. Yeah. I see it. Some actually believe it might actually be a dragon, like an Ahamkara, that they might still be alive. Ready? I'm just gonna be blunt. Like, dragons have been like my favorite creature ever since I was a little kid. Ever since I played Spyro, I've always loved dragons because of it. And I've even read like, well, I even read like the entire inheritance cycle. You know, Aragon, Eldest, Brisingr, and I finally got the final book, Inheritance. And I actually have to start reading those again. What do we go for? Sura Crota or Chamber of Night? Let's at least take out the sword. Let's take out the sword, then we go for the Traveler, then we go for the Shrine. I actually have the Shrine of Oryx mission already active. Yep. Let's destroy the sword first, and then we save the Traveler. Huh? If
I've been combing the Cryptarch's records for anything on the Temple of Crota. Listen.
Long ago, the moon fell to Crota. He wielded a sword so dark it drained whatever light it touched.
actually,
Now Crota sleeps,
sorry.
but the sword does not. The Warlocks believe the sword is in a chamber guarded by the Swarm Princes. If you face them and steal the sword, we could see that it is never wielded again.
Would be useful for like a solar power plant.
The only
Also,
way
if you
to
want to get
destroy
like
the
a
sword
quick
is to
tan,
kill
you
its
just go
makers,
you just
the
go
Sword
up there,
Princes.
go out, just
One of them is said to
step
guard
out for like a
ritual
few
site near
seconds,
the
step back
Hellmouth.
in, and boom.
We'll challenge him first.
Yeah.
The ritual site is up ahead.
This is the year 2 Galahorn. Yep.
This is where we'll find it.
Well, I did
hope
manage
you're
to
ready.
finally get something to infuse it with, and it was starting to do a bit more damage. Then again, when we were trying to do it, we ended up nearly getting our butts kicked. I don't remember when that... I think it was against Thalnok, the Fanatic of Crota. So, David, how do you feel now that Ruby's finally coming back on the 24th? Same here. I mean, I linked you that...
One down. I'll lead us to the others.
Yep. Yeah. But when I saw like that little opening, and that you see that little... If you freeze frame at that picture, you can actually see all the members of that Crow belonged to. And I'm guessing... The blonde that was in the picture standing by the tree was Tai Lang. The girl with the white hood was Summer Rose. And the woman right beside Crow, I think that has got to be Raven. And the mysterious woman, and like, according to what I remember reading up, she has... You got ahead of me. And according to what I read up about Ruby, apparently Raven has the same last name as Crow, and that last name is Branwen. So when I saw that picture, I'm like, wait, so does that mean that Raven and Crow are siblings? Yeah, but that one little scene though with Crow and Winter... Yeah, Winter is Weiss's sister. Yeah, but then you just like see that one little thing with Winter and Crow, and I'm like, oh boy. There's got to be something involving with those two, and I could just imagine like, imagine if those two ever just, bit of a headcanon thing, but imagine if those two if Crow and Winter one day just decide to get married. That would probably make them step siblings. I'm like, oh. I know. If they actually pull it off, I will call it. I will call saying that I knew this was gonna happen first. Me.
Careful. Its power is dark.
Don't you have like your own sword to use? Yeah. Fair enough. Because when we got the sword, it was just last time someone did this, we were just like wrecking them. There's like swords all around. Sorry, I'm just humming that little tune from one of the boss themes from Bayonetta 2. It just got that addicting soundtrack to it. It feels like addicting
Lots of movement
gameplay.
all around us. The princes are coming for the sword.
Akel's hand. I gotta figure out exactly how to increase my melee, increase my strength, because I joined the Future War Cult, so are they the ones that give you the strength intellect? Damn. Oh, Legend of the Titan. Yeah, because originally Dead Orbit was the strength and discipline, guys. If anything, I would have just... Whoa, did you just block me? Ah. It's a home run!
The sword is gone. They say that was one of the most powerful weapons the Hive ever wielded against us.
This is the
Cryptarchs won't
hyper
believe this.
combo. Sorry, I just had to pull like Deadpool. Yep. Overload. Fair enough. I can understand. Do we go for the Shrine of Oryx next and then go for the Shard? Yep. Okay. Dude, I'm not that messed up. Shrine it is. Then again, I think given the fact that Osiris is from is heard in the mission briefing, I feel like they did not want to talk about the shrine, given the fact.
Listen to this. From an old warlock, Osiris.
Brother Vance.
Every end crawls from the same pit, rising from the schism to swallow matter, light, and life. It will not be stopped, but here it can be slowed. The shrines of Oryx must be destroyed.
Possibly.
There is a shrine here, but it's further in the Hellmouth than anywhere we've been.
From what I remember
about
when I read about the Grimoire Card about the Kingsfall raid, apparently Eris Moore knows where the where Osiris is, cause the last thing she says, "Ah, damn it." I forgot I had I got the 3 coins on my hunter. Son of a... Yeah, but how do I split up 3?
I'm picking up fallen activity. Heavier than normal. Something's got them worked up. I'll stay on it. The Fallen. They're invading the Hellmouth?
Oh, nice. Yeah, we don't have the ghosts that give us the automatic ether seeds yet. I only have ether seeds. Frick. My hunter's got the lion's share. This is what I get for focusing solely on my hunter. I keep forgetting to do this. At least until I can get my characters up. Huh? I know, but ever since... Whoa, wait. Is that an exotic? Or is that just a green? No, it's a green. It's a green. It's a green. It just, in the light, it looked like an exotic engram. I was kind of hoping it was. I got robbed.
If I translated these fallen comms correctly, one of their barons is here. They don't crawl out of their skiffs too often. Sounds like an opportunity.
Remember when I did the last Iron Banner of year 1? The Iron Lords favored me that day.
Got him. That's one less baron to worry about. Let's find the shrine.
I think it's fan appreciation.
These tunnels go on for miles. We'll never explore them all. I don't even want to know what they're keeping down there.
Yeah, I also have a bit of a thing for... I also have a thing for foxes. Yeah, it's mostly Star Fox, mostly... Actually, I think it is Star Fox. Sales was okay. Yeah. Yeah, but now Sonic Boom's kinda...
These Fallen are just as crazy as we are.
But I remember watching this one, I don't get that either. Yeah. Yeah, and it was just kind of funny because, like, at the end, he's like, listen, I'm gonna give you some advice. Just be yourself. And he's like... I think,
There's the shrine.
yeah.
Find a way through.
Though, personally, for me, I feel that the bro code is kind of, I don't know, overrated. Like, you can be a guy, yeah, but you don't actually have to follow the bro code all the time. Only in certain situations, but for me, I'm just like, F the bro code. I'm following my own way. I know, I respect advice, and I know, like, some people may offer me advice that might be helpful, but I'm just gonna be blunt, I'm a stubborn bastard. If it's good advice, I'll take it. But if it's advice that doesn't seem good, yeah, I know. That's just a sucky thing, like... I just realized getting those orbs of light with my Striker Titan is going to be hell. But going back to Sonic, I remember watching a video about Sonic. It was from Screw Attack. But the last thing they said that really just irked me was the fact that they mentioned that Sonic is the reason why the furry community even exists. I'm like, okay, that's where I'm crossing the line. Yeah, do not blame Sonic over something that's...
It's tethered to a power far beyond the edge of the system. If I just find a way to break the link. Let's just hope we don't get sucked into some trans-dimensional vortex.
Yeah, there's also the fact that, like, I remember reading up in his belief, the first thing what a furry member is a person who is a fan of anthropomorphism. And for that, I actually have to agree. That was actually a valid point. There are people who are fans of anthropomorphism, and I am one of them. I remember when I was a little kid, I used to...
We severed their connection. The shrine, it was communing with something out there. Their god or king. Well, not anymore. Whatever it is, it's still out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't draw either. I can write. Yeah, and I cannot draw. I can draw basic, but I can write really dang well. I mean, like I mentioned a while back, I'm currently in the middle of writing a bit of a novel, and spoiler, it's kind of a furry novel. But when I mentioned this to a friend of mine, Joshua, on my Skype, David even knows who I'm talking about. He asked, "Is it a sexy story?" And I'm like, "No." I just bluntly told him, "No, it's actually a pretty dark story." Because, well, in my story, the race of... Right. Basically, it's a pretty dark story, and it... Yeah. Alright. That's all I just really want to say. I'll say. Hello? Yeah, that's the one I've been working on, and my story takes place in Europe. Yeah, and also when I think about it, it's
We have some anagrams you might find appealing. I was fond of that one. I hope we helped, Guardian.
And this... And this is the reason why you never build robots. Because it always goes bad. Yeah.
Night patrol?
Mark of Unity. The Six Fronts, perhaps the most recognizable element used in Titan marks, memorializes a mighty stand. Before I stepped into my role with the Vanguard, I was much more spirited. Those days seem far gone now. The dream of the city is all I have left. Every morning I wake to turn to see that the walls still stand, and I allow myself a smile.
Report.
Deep.
Carry the letter.
But I need to hear something good.
Yeah, what you were saying with my novel, with what it's something like a bit of a mix of a little bit of that, but it's kind of like a darker version of Monster Musume.
How far
like a darker
are you
look to
willing
it.
to go?
The sword is shattered. I feel the darkness leaving this world, and yet the fist of Crota.
Kill Sardon, the fist of Crota, before the hive wake Crota's soul.
Well, yeah. It's just like Monster Musume basically is a anime about monster girls, but the two of us and our friend Cody Vlad have already read the manga. I've already read the manga up to like the recent thing, and
how can I help?
Well, mostly it's just most of the time it's fan service up the wazoo, but there have been a few dark elements to it at times, and I'm just like really itching for for it to ever become a story, but to actually throw in a concrete story into it. But I'm like, that probably will never happen. Shit, sorry.
Everest. Tess Everest, Eververse Oddments, and Unique Met. Message for Shao.
Oh, would it be okay if we go to orbit?
But what do the flowers mean?
I know, but let's just say with what happens with the streams and internet connections, it usually just happens like this.
There will never be enough, Guardian.
Alright. If you want, I can go ahead and just, I don't know, like, talk with the guys or something about this. Just, like, talk about stuff. Oh, wait. Well, going back to what I said about Monster Musume, I will agree with what some people say. It's just like, okay, here, Pat. Hmm. Hmm. Want me to head to orbit if you got everything in the tower done? Yeah, I get bad connection issues. Yeah, lag issues. But yeah, I mean, I will agree with what some people say about Monster Musume. It is mostly a show about about tons of fan service with monster girls in it, and I'll be blunt. Fan service is kind of okay, but if it's just, moderately done, but if it's just like excessive, then it just turns me off. And it might sound a bit weird, but me being a member of the furry community, you probably would expect me to have like tons of raunchy pictures on my faves. Well, okay, first off, that is indeed true. But I also have been trying to really, branch out and like add less raunchy pictures into my thing. And I have uploaded a few pictures of my characters as well. But some of them have been a bit raunchy, some of them are okay, not really well done, but they're just, tame. But compared to everyone else's on, like, Fur Affinity and stuff, they're tame. My artwork is kind of tame. But, yeah. Monster Musume is just, like, it's a good anime, but after, like, seeing what, like hearing it, it's like the sounds. It's like the sounds of it. The manga I can tolerate because you don't really hear the voice actors, but the anime, it's sort of a 50-50. Well, 75-25 to be precise. It's more like, well, it's the sound. Like, just hearing the voice actresses. I know they tried well, don't get me wrong. And I remember finding the last episode of it, and the voices were actually, I think, toned down a bit deeper, and I'm going to be like a bit of a shock to you. I don't know, like, if it's still out there or something, you might have to find it, but it was actually pretty good with those voice actresses. They sounded a lot older than they looked, and I know it's like Japan, like, animations mostly when it comes to like older characters, they make older characters look younger. I'm like, oh god. But it's really just like the show itself, really, when you think about it. I mean, the manga has just been going on ahead, and it's mostly just been fan service, but the recent chapter did have a bit of an interesting arc to it, and I really hope that the mangaka can actually, come up with an even more concrete story. Like, we talked about how it talked about like deconstructs the monster girl trope, like how monster girls would live in the real world. Weird as it sounds, he tries his best, or is it a she? I don't know if the mangaka is a he or a she. I gotta find that out later. But they try to look up what it is like how animals react in like the wild and stuff, and like how if there would be monster girl variants of that. And I will admit, his research is actually, well done at times. I mean, I didn't know about some of the stuff involving, I guess, like, the mermaids and how they have, like, an air gland to, like, keep them afloat. And I didn't really know about that until now. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But, well, some might not like it. and I remember reading a review about it by someone on FA, and he was like, he did not like it. I don't know if I'll link it in the description below, but I did have to agree there was something about that. Matsume did focus solely on the fan service, and he believes that it probably won't go into a coherent story. I personally want to hold out hope for that. I want to hold out hope that Matsume can actually pull out a good story and actually, go on and do it. My novel that I'm working on, however, it's not really good. It does have fan service in it, don't get me wrong, but compared to some of the other things, it's surprisingly, it's kind of tame. But it's, well, okay, Old Russia, I'm not gonna go to that one yet, but I will kind of agree with them. It's like Matsume really needs to tone down the fan service, and if I was younger, I would have loved watching that show, but now, as I'm growing older, my tastes in animation have become more refined. I really want a show that delves into the story of the characters, like Game of Thrones. As weird as this sounds, I want it to delve into the story of kind of like Game of Thrones, more realistic, more of a deconstruction of various genres. Game of Thrones deconstructs a lot of genres. But yeah, I don't really know much. I'm still trying to write it all out. I'm still learning about what to do, how to write it and stuff, writing out certain scenes, and I'm trying not to make all of humanity sound evil in my story, just certain people are evil and certain are not, but it's not really so much at first glance you suddenly think he's evil. There's a bit more context to it. One guy may be a racist, maybe a bit of a racist, but do you know that he was once a kind guy who actually liked, the other anthro races, but after a tragic event where he lost his wife, he suddenly becomes cold and he doesn't care anymore. He just wants to make them go away. It's a bit more complex than that. And, well, I really hope to one day get my novel published. I know many people in the furry community will probably eat me alive for basically bashing the furry community, even though I'm a furry member myself. But this is just my opinion. This is my story, my rules. If you don't want to read it, then don't read it. Well, David's going to be away for a bit longer, and I don't want to bore you guys all with just watching this. I honestly want to know where the heck I can get the emblems, because I already got the ones for the Hunter and the Warlock, but I don't know where I can get... Well, I got the ones for the Hunters, but I don't know where I can get the Titan or the Warlock emblems yet. But might as well try a little bit of the Chamber of Night. Or, maybe just look at my quest, see what there's nothing new. Dark Below. Story of Eris Morn and her fight against the Hive God Crota. Just a Crota, Legend of the Titan. Now you see what we're up against. We don't like to tell Guardians newly reborn just how bad it is out there, but you were ready for it. You're strong, prepared. You've done so much, and you can do so much more. Matilda 15. A Lay of the Land. Nah, I don't need that. Let me see what this one is. Fang a Ball, 50 taken, Granite Resource, 6 Nature Ultra, Resource on Mars, 50 weapon heals in 5 seconds, 10 taken. Like the speaker said, everything is connected within the light. Now that I know to look for it, and from the data we gathered, I'll be able to pinpoint it to find the ritual they're performing. We have to stop them. Scour the High Fortress of the Moon. The grave makes it clear, the Hive are actually reaching out to the Traveler. They're doing some sort of ritual, some kind of remote association, energy transference. Huh. Ghost sounded a bit surprised when we did this the last time. But personally, I wonder, oh, I got an upgrade. Sweet. Headstrong. let me switch over to my defender class. But let me switch over to the defender and let me go back to the tower. Maybe there's something new. Or no, let me do this. I know David said that Demon's gonna be
Urgent
away.
transmission incoming on all channels. From the speaker.
Nothing is more important now. We believe the Hive are engaged in a ritual that is draining the Traveler of its light. Whatever power they wield must be understood.
Huh. Now with the Taken King, I didn't realize how context that quest now has, because according to what we got from the World's Grave, this is how they're learning about the trip.
This ritual could be happening in any one of their thousands of chambers. If we can find cracks deep enough, I can map the entire Hive fortress.
But yeah, games like Dust and Elysian Tale that actually portray furries in like, a bit more of a positive light, and games like Sly Cooper, those games I actually like. Yes, they have anthropomorphic characters, but the way they are written,
Let's keep looking.
Sound more human than you'd think. And that's what I like. Yes, I've been a fan of anthropomorphism ever since I was a little kid. I watched shows like Little Bear, Franklin, I think once or twice the Bearstein Bears. And, well, I've just been like a fan ever since I was a little kid. I didn't really, pay that much attention to it until later. Until like in middle school. When middle school and high school were pretty rough on me. I was the class snitch. I would end up snitching on some of my classmates, and they made my life hell. I was depressed, even if it's suicidal growing, towards 9th and 11th grade. So, eventually, when I joined DeviantArt with the artist community, I eventually met up with friends, and Vlad was one of them too. I was friends with a friend of his, and eventually I was shown for Affinity, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. But I was more or less the kind of guy who didn't really care much about it. I was more or less the young, inexperienced kind of guy. Or more.
Hold on. I got it.
And that's Cody right now.
But we have to go deeper into the Temple of Crota.
Great. Grimoire, but I think Saint 14... So I'm plucking at strings on this one since I have not read the Grimoire, but I think Saint 14 is an EXO, just going by his name and others. David, is it... Welcome back. I was just talking a bit about my... Yeah, I figured you would be back in a few minutes, so I decided to do the mission. I have a ton of cake mix in our pantry right now, and my mom and I usually would bake lots of cakes and stuff when we get the chance, but we haven't baked any in a long time. But besides that, I was just talking about. Yeah, I occasionally bake when I can, but yeah, I did that once with my mom too.
Could be the speaker.
Alright, I was just talking a bit about, how I joined the furry community, like my experiences growing up and how, the furry community kind of helped me through it. I made, like, a lot of friends because of it.
You're interesting. Not entirely interesting, but you have promise. Who is that?
I'm not really much of a soul.
I don't know. I'm losing the signal.
Guardian, I know what you're about to do. It's brave. But there are enemies out here you would not believe.
Out where?
I've never been to one.
Go down and face the hive. And if you live, come find me.
Well...
Signal dropped. I got some broken coordinates. Venus, Northern Hemisphere, Ishtar region. Great. What do we do now?
We go down.
For me, it was... For, like, me, it was... For me, I was always, like... I started writing... I entered this, little class in my high school, and it was, like, a writing class, and I actually started writing a bit more, and I started making fanfiction. My first one was, like, Spyro, and ever since then, my persona was basically, like... It was supposed to be like a self-insert kind of thing. Cool. Send me the link when you can, but yeah, when I started out with my fanfics with Spyro, and I eventually made a lot of friends because they were also Spyro fans as well. Eventually, as the years went by, I stopped writing Spyro fanfics and I started branching out onto the other types. Mabinogi, this MMO that I played a lot when I was like growing up. I haven't really touched them much, or at all. There's also a few others that I'm trying to remember, but I remember one is Dead or Alive, and right now I'm doing a sort of a huge crossover thing with Ben 10, Ratchet and Clank, and Salty Terraform. I'm currently writing that one. I'm also writing a bit of a Fate Extra fanfic. After I... Cool. But yeah, ever since I started writing fanfics, I was actually getting better and better in writing. I even entered that writing contest a friend was doing so I could get some pieces or two of my characters done. And between him and another friend of mine, who was also writing a fanfic contest, I won. Because, well, when I looked at my friend's characters he was doing, I decided to focus on something a bit interesting that ties the characters that our contest host was hosting, and added a bit more of a bit of a zest to it. Because like one of the characters has like a crush on one of the main protagonists of my friend, and at the end of it, when the event was over, the rival of the other team leader, before she went through the full back the full roll with the others, she leaned in and gave the character a kiss, like on the lips, before leaving. She was just like dumbfounded, like, what just happened? But it was actually kind of funny, and he actually liked it. So he went to his college professor, who he was going to have him judge, and the college professor chose my work. But when it came to the characters, I decided to focus in character on like what they would be like, how they would react, how they would work, and just throw in a few more tidbits that I found to throw them in there for fun. And well, I was pretty surprised. My friend who entered the contest, however, was not happy with it. I think he held it against me for a bit. But yeah. I managed to get 2 pictures of 2 of my fan characters, but I haven't really focused more on my Sparrow fan characters ever since I finally got someone, our friend Jeffron, to draw a picture of my persona that I finally could have.
The darkest
That
of all the
I've had it in my head for so long, and I finally was able to get him drawn. Ever since then, well, lots of nice things have been introduced. And when I first thought about him, I thought about him as like an extension of me. But now he's more or less his own character now. He has his own story, his own life, his own thoughts about stuff. But yeah, and I soon developed his family characters that are part of his family, and also I started developing the antagonist of my story. And it will kill you. But when I think about my novel, I'm like trying to wonder, should I just write the characters how I want to write them? How I think they should be, based off their personalities I set for them? Even though that might seem a bit one-dimensional. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, everyone kept assuming that they're dragons and it picks you off. Yeah, I understand. I mean, with my characters, it's obvious they're dragons. But, well, with the dragons of my persona and stuff, they're basically like...
What is this thing?
What?
It's a shard of the Traveler. They were using it against the Traveler, devouring its light. But we freed it. And our new friend said there are enemies on Venus worse than this. Great.
Until they eventually became the Solomon. My original first thought was just basic. Well, with my species, the Jacobians, they were originally created to be the aspect. Well, they were originally basically like what you'd think of like a race of magical dragon-like race that has high amounts of magic. Now they're more or less a highly technological species of space dragon that basically have been around since the beginning of the universe. They've been around a while. But unlike how most people would see them as like whimsical kind of species, at times they can be, but most of the time they're serious. They've been around, they've seen some stuff happen, and they don't want like some of the bad stuff to go back. But yeah, I eventually developed them to have like their own they're basically a race of monarchy. Like you see Game of Thrones and you kind of think of the noble houses kind of thing. It's like that, but it's more of a democratically elected thing. And by democratically elected, I mean there's a bit of a debate kind of thing, just to see if they have like the political know-how. or not. And the second is to put the candidates into an arena and watch them fight to the death. Whoever wins becomes the new leader. Well, then they have to go and face off against the leaders as well, the current leaders of the various dragon species. There's one for each of the elements: fire, water, earth, wind, and light. There's a dark-based element, but they don't interact too well. Dark dragons are I don't know about the dark and light dragons. I've been debating about them lately. Should I make the light and dark dragons be... Originally they were elemental-based dragons, but when they eventually died, they ascended. Some could ascend to become light dragons, others could ascend to become dark dragons. Sort of like angel and demon thing, but unlike most popular religion, how angels and demons don't really like each other and want to kill each other, the dragons are basically they're willing to work together, and they can get along together. Depending on the dragon, of course. But compared to most angel versus demon thing, they can actually get along pretty well, and they're kind of okay with crossbreeding with each other, like a demon and an angel marrying and having a family. They're cool with it. They don't really care. Or just have it be I gotta really think about this a bit more. I have their biography about them.
Alright, let's get started.
That I made. I gotta re-look about them, but I also gotta get some of the characters of their religion, like the pantheon and stuff, drawn. I really gotta get them drawn. Problem is just trying to find an artist who can draw them, because most of the things involves commissions, and I don't have money. I'm poor. That's why